Hey ladies, welcome to Dear Diaries. My name is Rosabeth Theok, and I am the founder of Dear Diaries.
For someone who talks a lot, I just cannot believe I'm short of words right now.
So have you ever questioned the existence of God? For me, you've heard of God. You've heard people talking about God. You even think you believe in God. You even, you imagine what he's like. I remember when I was a kid, I imagined him being huge and tall and just ginormous. That's what I imagined God as a little kid. And with the faith that I had as a little kid, being that I imagined him so huge, so grand, so big that the world, the globe could, fit in the palm of his hands. I believed him to be a God who can do anything and crush me, things like that. And as I got older, I don't know what happened with my belief in him and this huge God who's ginormous, who can do anything, who, can crush me with the palm of his hands, who could, do all these things. I don't know what happened to that childlike faith. But as I got older, as I started thinking and becoming more intellectual, I started thinking about who God really is, and does he really exist? Or is it something that people just say that we need to believe in? I was raised in the Catholic religion. I was raised to go to church every Sunday, and so I knew God from the perspective of what I was taught, what my parents said about God. But as I got older, I didn't feel like I knew God for myself. I don't even think that was important to me either. As I was growing up, I used to go to I was very involved in music. That was my whole world. That, I would say, was my God, music. And I didn't acknowledge God's existence. I didn't think about him. I prayed, but not really effectively, not really believing that I was really doing something that God could really hear, or it was just something that I did. When God really became real to me was when my father passed away. But before he passed away, before my father passed away, I had encounters with God that I didn't know was God at the time. What I kept hearing was the answer is in the Bible. I kept hearing, get a Bible, get a Bible, get a Bible. And I had a friend of mine at the time that I was hanging out with because he was helping me with my music. He was the bass player. And I said, you know what? I keep hearing this voice tell me to get a Bible, get a Bible. And he said, well, you need to get a Bible then, because if you're hearing a voice say get a Bible, then more than likely that is not yourself, nor is that Satan telling you to get the Bible. And so at the time, my father was in the hospital. He was in the hospital for a long time, a very, very long time, in a vegetative state. And so I purchased the Bible, and I was scrolling, just searching everywhere, but I didn't have a lifestyle of reading the Bible. I didn't have a lifestyle of praying desperately or getting to know God. I didn't have a relationship with God, so I didn't know where to look in a Bible, and I didn't know who to call. I didn't know who, could help me. All I knew was God said that the answer is in the Bible. When that happened, I started changing. I started cutting things off. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I was like, no, I'm going to practice abstinence now, and cold turkey on him. And he had a hard time dealing with it. And I was very, very angry with why he couldn't understand. This is what the Bible said, and I'm going to do it. I need to do this because I don't know if all the things that I'm doing has to do with my father, and If this is what God says in his word, then this is what I'm going to do. And I was very angry why he couldn't understand. It's all about his body and what he wants and everything. And that's how that part went. So fast forward, my dad ended up dying. And when he died, I was very upset. I was brokenhearted. I'm the type of person I feel so much, but you really can't see the pain that I feel by looking at me. But my heart is broken, my heart is torn, and I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to be on earth anymore. I just wanted to be in God's arms. Even though I was mad at him, I wanted to be with him. Figure that I don't know why, but that's how I felt. And we had a visitor. I do want to say, before my father got sick, this is another thing that happened, was this same visitor visited us before, and he came. That was my first time seeing him. At the time, I didn't know he was a prophet, so that was my first time meeting a prophet, seeing the work of prophecy before my eyes. Like I said, I was raised in a Catholic church, so prophecy is not something that you would normally get to see in a Catholic church. I don't know if they do that elsewhere, but the church that I was in, that was unheard of. He was talking about things that God said would happen in our family, and he said that your daughter is one of your daughters, or me, I don't remember who it was, but she's going to do something that's going to make your mother so happy, so joyful, that she's going to be running around the house and just joyful and happy. And immediately when I heard him say that, I heard a voice say, "But your father will not be there to see it." I heard it so clear, I heard it so strongly, and I kept it to myself. And I didn't want to say anything about it, about what I heard. I never experienced that before, hearing voices and things like that, hearing voices so clearly. And I heard it, and I got so afraid, and I got so fearful, because why wouldn't my father be there? Why wouldn't he be there? And I thought, like, if I voiced it out, if I spoke it out, then it would happen. So I kept it inside, and I didn't say anything. And then that's when we found out that my dad blacked out, and he got into a car accident because he blacked out. And what happened was, he had a tumor in his head, and it was probably there a long time ago, but it was growing now, and it started impairing his vision. And he was a cab driver, so he blacked out, and he hit a car. And my dad's cousin came to pray for him, and he prayed for him, and he gave a good word, and he said that, your dad will be okay. And I felt so relieved about it, and that I finally told everybody what I heard. So that's when the journey of my dad's passing started, and that's how it started for me. So fast forward, the same visitor came, and he came to the house, and I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to even be in the room with him, not because I was upset with him, I just didn't want to be around anybody. And out of respect for my mother and how we were raised, that if people come over and want to see us, that we would have to be there and sit and be polite and everything. So I was there. I sat in the corner against the wall, and he was sitting beside me, and he was praying, and he was speaking and saying the things that God was saying to him. And I closed my eyes. I didn't want to be a part of what was going on. I didn't want to hear what God was saying. Like I said, I just wanted to be in God's arm. I wanted to be off this earth. I wanted to be away from the pain that I was feeling about the death of my father. And so I closed my eyes, and I started imagining myself going up through the roof. I could see the roof that I was going through it. I seen the top of the roof, and I started going up further, going up to the sky, and I could see that I was going through the clouds, and I was just going up and going up and going up, and I could see it. And I think it was so real for me because I wanted to be there so bad. And the guy stopped what he was saying, and he said, God said, you stop doing what you're doing. But my eyes was closed, so I don't know who he was talking to. So, but I, like I said, I wasn't interested in what he had to say, so I just kept doing what I was doing. He said, you, the one sitting beside me, God said that he has you in his arms, and he needs you to stop doing what you're doing and come back down. To come back down. He has you in his arm, come back down. And I don't know why I'm so emotional right now. I've said this story before. I've recorded this story before to share, but so much noise, so I'm recording it again. And at that moment, I really started to believe in the existence of God because nobody knew what I was doing. I didn't tell anybody. I just sat there and I closed my eyes, and I wanted to be in the arms of my Father. I wanted to be in the arms of the person I felt that hurt me the most, because he took away my dad, and through the process, he is such a good God. But through the process, he was trying really hard to comfort us and make us understand that he was going to take my dad away. I had dreams that he was taking him away. I had dreams of why he was taking him away. I had dreams of what happened, what was the reason, why. And it was a demonic attack. He was good. He was really good at letting me know, but like I said, I wasn't in a relationship with God where I could understand what was being given to me. So at that moment, I said, wow, this man cannot possibly have any clue what I was doing, because I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. My mouth was shut. My eyes were shut. My heart was shut. There's no way he could know what I was doing. But God gave him clarity, and God spoke through him to tell me, hey daughter, I am here. I am alive. I'm a true God. I know you're in pain. I have you in my arms. I'm embracing you, but I need you to live. I need you to live, and I need you to go back down, and I need you to live, and I need you to have a relationship with me. And from that moment, from that experience, every thought that I had of wondering if God really existed, was washed away. And I said to myself that I will never doubt the existence of God ever again, because he's real. He's a God that speaks. He answers. And from then, my life changed forever. Even as I'm speaking now, I've heard this before, but what I'm going to tell you is that even in your pain, even in what you believe to be your darkest hour, God will use that for your benefit. That God will use that to bless you. God will use your pain. And if you turn to him like I did, I didn't even know I was doing that. But he will answer. He will answer you. He will answer you hard. He will answer you strong. And he will save you. I don't doubt the existence of God. He's not a false God. He's not a statue that can't speak, that can't, eat like Abraham tested. He's real. He's a moving God. He's flowing. He's an on-time God. He knows what you need now, and he answers. So I hope my story, through the trials that I've been through, will help you to continue your relationship with God and to become very intimate with him in this relationship. Because it's through that relationship, through the intimacy of that relationship, will you get to see the different faces of him? Will you get to see the depth, the height, and the width of how much his love covers you, how much he's so in love with you? Though we have to go through pain of deaths with our families and loved ones sometime, God will comfort you. God will be there, and he will not let you go. And he will use it to bless you. He will use it to build you up. He will use that pain to bless you. My name is Rosa Bethia. Welcome to Dear Diaries. Please share this with your friends. Please let them know that God is speaking. The God is supernatural. God is intimate. He's an intimate God, and he wants to share that with you. Bye. Hey, we have more videos on Dear Diaries for you to experience and hear about the supernatural God that we have. I believe that even when you hear my story, you will feel the Spirit of God quickening around you, or quickening in your own spirit, or even bringing forth an encounter with you. I believe that he is going to show you who he is, show you about the kingdom of God, and if you are open to it, he will rock your world and he will bring you into an extraordinary life in his kingdom. Please share this page. Please talk about Dear Diaries. Please share Dear Diaries. Please like and subscribe, and let's continue this journey in God's supernatural awesomeness.